Fox News alert now. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton once again opening up about the Benghazi terror attack 1 year after this headline-making moment. Listen.
The fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Well, speaking to auto dealers in New Orleans today, Mrs. Clinton told the audience, quote, "My biggest, regret is what happened in Benghazi. It was a terrible tragedy, losing 4 Americans, 2 diplomats, and now it's public, so I can say 2 CIA operatives." Julie Roginski is a former political advisor to Democratic Senator Frank Lautenberg of New Jersey. She's also a Fox News contributor. Dee Benke is a Republican strategist and former Bush White House aide. Great to see both of you.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, she has said this in some ways before, Julie, but it appears that she is going to be talking about Benghazi as she prepares possibly to run for president.
Well, she should. I mean, obviously, it's part of her tenure, and you saw had a report that came out, a bipartisan report in the Senate saying, obviously, the State Department could have done more. So it's something she needs to address. The part about Benghazi that's upsetting to me, and I think not for partisan reasons, but just for reasons, is because here's an event that took place that is a massive tragedy that was in some ways preventable, but was certainly not done in a calculated way by anybody in this administration or anybody in this government. And for anybody to say that Hillary Clinton was going out there and somehow making Benghazi happen or pinning the blame on Benghazi on her is equivalent to somebody pinning the blame of 9/11 on George Bush. Well, it's not right.
I have a feeling Dee Dee's going to have a different point of view on that. Dee Dee?
Well, look, ladies, it's just so cavalier, and I think a video speaks 1,000 words when she says, what difference does it make? It makes her sound like she couldn't care less. This was not on her. She didn't know what was going on, really, so it's either she's inept or being dishonest or too cavalier. So it's a lose-lose.
But she's not running away from Benghazi. I thought it was interesting today that when she was asked in this, in front of auto dealers, which would not be the most logical place to be talking about Benghazi, that when she was asked what her greatest regret was, she said, "My greatest regret is Benghazi." So is it smart for her to bring it up like that if she's going to run for president?
It is. I mean, she has to address it. She has to get it on the table. Look, it happened. And I think to her point of what difference does it make, I think she was, if you put it in the context of what she was saying in the context of these people are dead. To them, what difference does it make how they died?
Keep bringing it up, though, because
she's got
what's on someone's mind.
Because eventually there's going to be a follow-up question, maybe not in front of auto dealers at NADA, but there's going to be a follow-up question about why didn't you do more?
Absolutely.
All right, I got to move on to this, because people are going to wonder, why am I cutting cheese right now? Well, you have to hear it to believe it. In an effort to win back millennials and get them signed up for Obamacare, the White House is hosting the first ever virtual Big Block of Cheese Day. So the idea dates back to 1837 when President Andrew Jackson hosted an open house featuring a 1,400-pound block of cheese that sat in the main foyer of the White House. But this time around, it's going to all be online, ladies, where dozens of White House officials will take to social media to answer questions from Americans. So, now, cutting the cheese in a different kind of a way today. I'm going to give this. Okay, here you go, Julie.
That is quite a hunk of cheese.
You said you were hungry.
What am I supposed to do with this hunk of cheese? I'll eat it.
You can eat it after you answer the question of how is this social media day of cutting from the block of cheese going to help President Obama make good with the millennials?
I think it's going to help people. Excuse me, this cheese is actually really spicy. Oh my God. I'll answer that question as soon as I pour a chug of water down my throat. Thank you.
I offer water to you as well.
Ultimate hostess.
This is like a little cheese party. I think it's helpful in the following sense. People obviously have questions. The White House will use social media to help answer them. There's nothing wrong with this. I think they should be commended for it. If people want to ask the White House questions, the White House gets to answer questions. It's all good. It's social media.
Wrong,
why would you criticize it?
Wrong in all kinds
I'm going
of
to keep eating my cheese.
Well, first, as a history major, then I worked at the White House. Let me tell you a little about this. Andrew Jackson, that big hunk of cheese sitting there, stunk up the whole place. So it wasn't good. It didn't work anyway. And the other time he opened up the House to the people, it was pandemonium in his inauguration.
Whenever people,
exactly, but that's the whole point. If you're going to open up the House to regular people, why don't you have grilled cheese sandwiches, tomato soup, bring them in, and actually talk about it instead of bringing the actors from the West Wing. They're bringing them in, and it's virtual, so it's not even working.
I think because he's trying to reach out to the millennials who spend most of their life doing social media in many respects. So that is the whole point of it. Hey, thanks for having a little cheese and water party with me.
Delicious.
All right, see you soon.
Thanks.